Hello, Wizardreaders! I am Professor Brown, and I have a question for you. What do you think of when I say Easter? Maybe it's chocolate-covered bunnies, or finding Easter eggs, or maybe it's a man named Jesus. Well, if you thought of Jesus, you better believe I have a story that goes along with Easter. In fact, it's called the Easter story. You may have heard of this story. You may have not. Either way, this book I think you'll really enjoy. Let's dive in. The Easter Story, retold by Russell Punter, illustrated by John Joven. A long time ago, there lived a man named Jesus. He went across the land telling people about God's kingdom. At the city of Jerusalem, cheering crowds lined the streets. So there must have been something about this Jesus person to gather such crowds. The day after he arrived, Jesus visited the local temple. When he saw the traders selling things, he was furious. "This is a place for praying," he shouted, "not making money." Jesus chased them away and spoke about God. Sick people came to him and he made them well. The temple priests grew angry. "Jesus says he's the Son of God," they fumed, "and that is not allowed. Let's arrest him, away from the crowds." Judas, one of Jesus' friends, overheard them. "Pay me, and I'll tell you when Jesus is alone," he whispered. Jesus' friend doing that? That night, at supper, Jesus shocked his friends. "The man I give this bread to will betray me," he declared. Jesus handed the bread off to Judas, who ran off. Jesus murmured a prayer, then shared a meal with his friends. "When you eat bread and drink wine, please think of me," he said. What dinner meal is this known as? That's right, the Last Supper. After supper, they walked to a nearby garden. "Soon, you'll all run off and leave me," said Jesus. His friends were heartbroken. "We'd never do that." Jesus turned to his friend Peter. "And you'll say you don't know me 3 times. "Never." Jesus made his way to another part of the garden to pray alone. When he returned, his friends were fast asleep. "Couldn't you stay awake for me?" See, they were looking out for Jesus. Well, they were supposed to be on watch for Jesus while he prayed. Suddenly, Judas was there with the temple guards. Striding over, he kissed Jesus on the cheek. "This is the man you want," he told them. Jesus' friends ran off in fear, and the soldiers marched Jesus to the high priest's palace. Peter joined the crowds outside. "Hey, aren't you a friend of Jesus?" No. Peter told them the lie twice more. Then, remembering what Jesus had said, he wept. The temple priests asked the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, to kill Jesus. Pilate thought Jesus was innocent, but he did not want to upset the priests. So what do you think happens? Roman soldiers dressed Jesus in purple robes and struck a crown of thorns on his head. "Ha ha, now you'll really look like a king," they jeered. You see, they're making fun of him, right? Because Jesus said he was the Son of God, a king. They dressed Jesus in his old clothes again. Then they made him drag a huge wooden cross out of the city. Before long, Jesus was exhausted. As a crowd gathered, the soldiers hung Jesus on the cross. Jesus prayed to God, "Forgive them, Father. They do not know what they are doing." And that afternoon, Jesus died. The ground shuddered and shook. "He really must have been the Son of God," cried a soldier. A man named Joseph wrapped Jesus' body in a linen cloth. Then he took the body to the garden with some friends, and they laid it gently inside a tomb. Puffing and panting, they heaved a heavy rock across the entrance. By now, it was late on Friday evening. Also known as Good Friday. On Sunday, 3 of Jesus' friends visited the tomb. And to their amazement, the huge rock had been moved. Jesus' body was gone. Just then, a man appeared dressed in all white. "Don't be afraid," he called out to them. "Jesus is alive." The women ran off to tell the others. When a woman named Mary came back alone, there stood Jesus. "Tell my friends you have seen me," he said. Jesus' friends saw him several times after that, before he finally rose up to heaven. They told everyone they met the good news. Jesus would live forever. The Easter story is nearly 2,000 years old, and it comes from the section of the Bible known as the New Testament. Well, Wiz readers, there we have it, the Easter story, beautifully illustrated. I hope you guys enjoyed that and have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you guys on the next adventure.